Yes, hello. I'm here to talk about my kingdom and authority over the nations. We say there's seats all lined up in the United States for writing bills or signing something, and the fact that it'll make something progress in the state legislature in order due process of law and these sorts of things, which are all based on indomitable justice. Where indomitable justice is involved, as opposed to the ruthless engagement of psychology and philosophy, as well as a hint of intelligent intellect, well, these types of things come together to form a bias of opinion based on the truth evident to the psychosemantics, so to speak, which is semantics, so to say, that out of word would come up antics, didactics that are unclear. All that involved within the system has nothing to do with kingship I rule and ownership I run of this world and its existences I own and created and are mine. Although the justice is about departmentalization, where a perturbed system condenses the mince of the words into a sort of parabolic struggle of antitrust negation, a simple negativity of electronically partial charged atoms structurized to present a structured sentence as imposing upon the belief system and character systems as the system is engaged in a multifaceted simulation of introgressed disputation, where different characters are differential aspect belief systems and not notated as natural life order or notated as systems at all. Notated simply as the simulation or artificial artifact of discovered metamorphosis, where metamorphosis means the outplay of the duration of the sequential order of things into a condensed argument or imposed belief structure, sediment, or ideation, as opposed to these justice systems as forerunner in the nations discovering the truths and evidence, so to speak, of the Enlightenment era and the theories behind these forthcoming events, as opposed to a prophecy, then the system would be judgmental upon one on behalf of which is imposing a judicial lie or so somewhat of a condensed mannerisms of language that are conditioned reposory to the response artifact to the system and its discovery of the natural environment and its organization in the climatic zones of discretion and disputation to the actual transgressions of sin. The system could, in fact, digress to the effect it becomes one's enemy in the motion of one's own act. The system was built to not judge, yet to impose a clientele and base upon that clientele an artifact of struggle, though criminal justice is imposing a theorization of the impacted evident manifest. To struggle against one's own psyche. Within this manifest, the systemation becomes one of the eaters of the pressed out, so to speak, if I could say the least, somewhat of a strewn out area of refuse and garbage, an eater of decay. Although the system is nothing compared to the ruling structure of today's society, as I the king ruled the world and the earth and existences, nothing compared to my authority. I threw it all the way into the matrix, and it's no longer evident through discretion differences between these intermediary independents of ideation and undisclosed, communicated, self-evident deploracies. Because the system is not meant to be a judge or a artisan to what that these contraband of theorization and the fact that it's a irrelevant mannerism of manneristic pride and predispositions of intolerable declination to the aspect of disputable refusal to belief, where the lie becomes the most arch enemy of these displeased but not trying to dispose of the system type related to negativity and the refuses of these independents closer to reclusory and ornaments of arbitrary and obsolete disinclination to theorization and philosophy as well as prophecy loses grounds on the basis of non-intellect and contusions of the mind, as well as contortions of the brain, to become involuntary stature of independent state organizations making beliefs into the discretion of the main rulership I beheld. Without saying the least, those go into the argument. What I say the argument to be the artificial mentality, where that is a displeasure to the acumen and then the affair of state that discloses itself unto the acupunes. One realization from those beheld to conjure the thoughts of the refuse and eaters of decay come into mind. It strikes a golden harpstring and makes the display of ordinances that I maintain through my actions as well as my power, my will to succeed and transpire into the interrogation of my sight to be held and honor my dignity and glory for my majestic reign over the entire existences, as well as my reign over my authorization and power to supreme rulership and authority over existence.